Welcome back. Now, before we take a look at the day's business news, let's first take a look at the stock indices across the GCC. And in our top business story, the UAE's Minister of Economy, His Excellency Sultan bin Zayed Al Mansouri, gave an update this morning on 4 new laws which aim to enhance economic and investment opportunities in the UAE. Following several meetings with the Federal National Council, the ministry has confirmed that the companies law, the foreign investment law, the consumer protection law, and the small and medium enterprises law are well underway and are currently being discussed with the council. Although His Excellency Al Mansouri did not specify when these laws will be approved, he did say that they are likely to be issued before the end of 2013. The minister then focused on the SME law and stated that these types of businesses have become a very important sector of the UAE's economy. However, he stressed that an organised framework for Emirati entrepreneurs is needed. Once the law is sanctioned, Al Mansouri believes that this will encourage innovation, research and strengthen ties both regionally and internationally.
This gives a lot of support for the nationals toward being more open to go into these small and medium-sized enterprises, because it provides for a framework of how they can, at the end of the day, start somewhere, rather than go and work with the government sector or something like that. At least there is an environment there for them, proper environment for them to start and then move on. So we make sure every time we participate, we have participation in this Joint Economic Committee. We hold also a B2B kind of meetings between small and medium-sized enterprises from UAE and small and medium-sized enterprises from these countries, Italy, Germany, and many others. And through that, we actually have seen some of these small businesses gaining access to this market. I mean, one of them has gained access to Italy and selling some of the jewelries. We usually buy jewelry from Italy to here. Now we have also somebody selling our jewelry in Italy. So all these sort of things is part of our responsibility. So we encourage them, we bring them in, we also try to help them in certain ways and advise with the Chamber of Commerce, with the others, in terms of relationship with these countries and certain sectors that we might have a strength in. We all work as one team at the end of the day, but that also needs a more organized framework, and this is where the small and medium-sized enterprise law will govern the relationship between these different parties through the creation of a council and committees and so on.
Dubai has retained its position as the second most important international retail destination globally, closely behind London, which also retained its #1 position this year, according to the 2013 edition of How Global is the Business of Retail by global property advisor CB Richard Ellis. London and Dubai came significantly ahead of Paris, Moscow and New York, that made up the top 5, after the annual survey mapped the global footprint of 320 of the world's top retailers across more than 200 cities. This year's report also looked at the world's hot markets in 2012 in order to enhance the overall understanding of cross-border retailer activity. And of the existing top 5 internationally representative cities, Dubai is now the highest-ranked target market for new retailers.
Dubai is important for them because they see Dubai as a frontier city for entry into the Middle East region. Because of the quality of retailing services here, the general increase in spending and the capability for even more increase in spending, so it's a key target market, and the opportunity for new entrants into the Middle East region to understand how the Middle East works from their experiences in Dubai. The second finding was that of all the future 3 to 5 year targets for retailers globally, Dubai is in joint fourth position, which makes it the highest of the mature markets for future retail growth. So not only is it second most importantly globally, it's a key target for future expansion of retailers here. So two slightly different statistics, but both pretty good news for Dubai.
Officials also revealed that retail success can also be attributed to Dubai's infrastructure, particularly aviation, and the growth in tourism, which in the future may even give Dubai the top spot in years to come.
The key objective that they see is the opportunity to increase retail spending. And that comes about from Dubai's perspective as a result of the quality of its airports and air infrastructure. The expansion of the resident population here, but also I think really key is the number of visitors coming into Dubai. We've now topped 10 million, and in the 2020 vision, the expectation is that we will go above 20 million visitors. And that's a very attractive statistic for retailers because they see their target markets expand quickly. What they also see in Dubai is a very international group of people who travel extensively. So introducing their brand to people afresh is sometimes difficult, but the majority of the people who are resident and will be their customers in Dubai have almost certainly seen those brands in their home territories. And therefore, in other words, it's a much easier sell for them to gain an immediate client base within this new market. So infrastructure, visitor numbers, and the internationalization of the Dubai market are all key reasons for those retailers to come here. Dubai's pace of growth is actually slightly ahead of London this year. And therefore, I think if Dubai continues to be competitive and attractive to retailers, and the results of this report suggest it will be, then there's no reason why Dubai can't overtake London to be its number one location.
Huawei's much-anticipated latest smartphones made their Middle Eastern debut last night at the Armani Hotel in Dubai, and customers can expect to see both smartphones on the shop shelves by June the 1st. The Ascend P2 is reportedly the world's fastest 4G LTE smartphone with download speeds of 150 megabytes per second and is capable of downloading HD movies in minutes while also downloading online videos and ebooks in seconds. The Ascend Mate is the world's largest smartphone with a 6.1-inch screen and a screen-to-body ratio of 73%, the highest in the industry. The screen has a resolution of 1280 by 720, which also boasts the Magic Touch feature, and the phone is just 9.9 millimeters thin. The smartphones are a part of Huawei's Make It Possible consumer platform and are the company's latest offerings into the highly competitive smartphone market, while advancing its position among the world's top 5 brands. The company's recent expansion into the Middle East helped the company realize global sales of $7.7 billion last year, a rise of 8% year on year, and shipping over 127 million devices.
Devices-wise, we are number one in a segment called mobile broadband, which is the USB with the SIM cards, mobile Wi-Fi. And we are today here launching a new product to show our focus on the smartphone business and to show our technology leadership.
And looking to other business news now, the US dollar turned in another strong performance in trading last week, making significant gains against the euro and the British pound. The US dollar index reached a 3-year high as investors picked up the improving data flow from the US. With the FOMC set to release their most recent meeting minutes this week, we spoke to Gaurav Kashyap, the head of the DGCX desk at Alpari Middle East, to get his outlook on the performance of the US dollar in the week ahead.
The US dollar had an outstanding performance in last week's trading session, and we're seeing the US dollar index closing to all-time highs which have not been seen since July of 2010. Now, the performance of the US dollar has been a bit peculiar over the past few months. Generally, what we're trying to see is when we're seeing risk appetite increasing, generally this provides a very, very negative environment for the US dollar as a fact that it's a safe haven. But overall, what we're seeing now is investors are looking to chase higher yields, and this is what is seeing the US dollar remaining propped up. You look at the performance of US equity markets, they're approaching all-time highs. Yields on corporate junk bonds are approaching lows. Overall open interest in equity markets are also approaching lows. So what we're continuing to see is the rhetoric coming out of the Federal Reserve and the fact that they're looking at probably tapering their asset purchase programs throughout the summer are what is really keeping the dollar well bought, and we expect the sentiment to probably continue. On this Wednesday, we expect the FOMC to release their meeting minutes, in which Ben Bernanke is probably going to maintain a very cautious approach with regards to future QE programs, but overall that will remain very, very beneficial for the US dollar. It's also going to be a big week for the British pound. We have some inflation data coming out of the UK. Inflation is expected to slow to around 2.6%, down from 2.8%, but this still remains above the MPC's overall target rate of 2%. So this should be beneficial for the British pound in the weeks ahead. Overall, the Bank of England's meeting minutes also due out this week. No changes expected in the voting pattern, which will remain at 6-3. But overall, we like to look at picking up long positions in the pound anywhere between 150.50 and 151. Overall, we expect the US dollar to remain well bought. We're also looking to see gold probably have a retest of those lows seen last month around 1321 levels.